And this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. My guest today is Richard Hubbard. He lost over 150 pounds on a plant-based diet, and he can help you do the same because he's offering coaching now. And he's also part of the amazing vegan health bundle that is going on right now until 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, March 10th. He has a wonderful product in the bundle. If you'd like to support Richard and get it from his link, it's right below in the chat in the show notes. Please welcome Richard back to the show. How have you been?
I've been doing great. And I want to say I'm really proud to be part of this bundle. There's so many amazing things in it. Just amazing group of people.
I know. And there's doctors and there's
Yes,
dietitians and influencers and chefs and wonderful companies like Plant Strong. I mean, it's just something for everybody. Have you had a chance to look at it? And what's your
I
favorite?
have. You know what my two favorites I saw so far, because this was just at a quick glance. I love the sounds of the raspberry jam chocolate chip cookies.
Mm.
Amazing, and I can't wait to try them. And then I was looking at the recipes from I have the names of my notes, but the San Francisco oats. That was in another book.
Nice. Who did the raspberry cookies? Do you remember which person?
It's in my presentation because
Oh,
I
oh, great.
get
Oh, I'm
bumped out
sorry.
of
Ooh,
it.
ooh, there's a presentation. Well, you
Yeah.
aren't you prepared?
But yeah,
Nice.
it's really an amazing bundle, and I'm super impressed with everything in there.
Well, we're proud to have you as a contributor. So how long has it been since you lost 150 pounds?
Well, my journey really started back in 2012. It took a year to lose 120 pounds. But what I was doing was slowly transitioning to a plant-based diet with research. I had no idea at first that that's what I was going to be doing. But lo and behold, a year later, lots of research, watching Forks Over Knives and different things online. I became fully plant-based, and I've never regretted it. This is the only time any diet ever worked for me.
Well,
Um,
that's amazing. So you said you found this information about 2012. Was it maybe
yeah,
through watching the movie Forks Over Knives?
that was part of it. But honestly, it was bits and pieces. I saw Dr. Oz on, Dr. Furman on Dr. Oz in April of that year, and just different things that kind of pulled together that year.
Nice. And so you said it, I mean, that's pretty fast weight loss because I only lost 47 pounds and it took me 27 months. So that's like 10 pounds a year. I mean, 10 pounds a year, 10 pounds a month. That's pretty incredible.
Well, to be honest, I was probably exercising like a maniac that first year. I had so much energy with this plant-based diet. So I probably overdid it with the exercise, but still it worked.
Did you
And
have any slips and slides along the way? Because unfortunately, we know that a large majority of people that lose weight through such a great deal of hardship and suffering often gain it all back.
no, because I was so impressed with how I was feeling. I
Yeah.
never wanted to go back to my old ways.
Hey, let me ask you this. At the time of your weight loss journey, we didn't have these drugs like Ozempic. If
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't 100% answer because you don't know, but if that was available back then, do you think you might have tried that instead of what you
Oh
did?
no, I already know I wouldn't. I had no interest, for example, in gastric bypass or anything like that. I'm so afraid of surgery. I think you've said that
Me
too.
too. That's what keeps me as healthy as possible
And
that's what got me to change my diet was when they said I had to have surgery. I'm like, no,
yeah,
oh, that sucks.
exactly. And I avoided the doc. That's why I avoided the doctor all those years. That was my first physical that I found I was pre-hypertensive and pre-diabetic. If I didn't have that physical, who knows if I'd ever would have changed. But Ozempic, I just feel like it's not a good fix because we don't know the long-term side effects. And
Yeah,
that's one of the
absolutely.
scariest things because can you imagine 10 years down the line, what was it, Fenton in the 90s?
Yeah, I took that and then I had to go get an echocardiogram. The FDA sent me a letter. They don't usually write me the FDA there,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
It's
And
so
that's a scary thing to think that, years down the line, what is somebody doing to themselves?
so there's somebody watching. I feel like they might know you. They're saying hello. Do you know vegan physical therapy doc?
Well, yes, I do. Uh,
Nice.
hello, Dr. Suzanne Fox. Actually, if you're looking for another physical therapist, I know you already have one, but
Well, hey, if they're plant-based, you can't have too
she is
many.
100% plant-based, and I know she'd love to be on your show as well.
Well, she is welcome to write us and we
Yeah,
will fit her in. We do have several month wait, but that doesn't mean we won't get to her. That's lovely. Thank you for the
sure,
introduction.
sure.
So you want to do a presentation. So I've
Yeah.
enabled the screen share it. Whenever you're ready, I'd be happy to watch it. I'm very interested in what you are going to say.
Oh, of course, I have to open the system preferences. I hope it don't.
Oh my gosh. You for somebody that makes their living as a webmaster, you sure are
I should have
not.
kept it.
I'm just kidding you. I mean, that's funny though, in a way. It's like the
Yeah.
cobbler whose kids have no shoes, right?
Unfortunately, I'd have to quit, and I don't think that's a good thing for a live presentation. But um, yeah. So I'll go without the presentation because basically it was just text anyway.
Well, you
And
could read it and then just say what
yeah,
it
that
was.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I decided to become a plant-based coach for many reasons, but a lot of people would be surprised to know that in the beginning, I was never into public speaking. I was always an introvert. In fact, one of my professors in college said I was someone who was both an introvert and a thinker. I'd always plan big in my head, ideas that I would never want to communicate with others. But that changed when I discovered a plant-based lifestyle. When I started to lose weight back in 2012, I didn't like the attention. I was feeling really uncomfortable when people would ask me about it. I wasn't used to the attention. I would downplay the weight I lost, but when you lose 150 pounds, it's really kind of hard to pretend that you lost only 20 pounds. So, I mean, I remember telling people, oh, it's only 20 pounds or it's only 50 pounds. But after that first year, there's just no hiding it. But I not only lost the weight, but I kept it off for 11 years now because I reached my lowest probably around December of 2012. Well, not my lowest. It was 120 pounds lost by then. Gradually over the years, it was 150 pounds. But anyway, not only that, I reversed my hypertension prediabetes, which I mentioned. This diet worked because it became all about health and not about the weight. That's what was so different about my approach for this in comparison to the other diets that didn't work in the past. Everything used to be about counting calories or high carb, low carb, you name it, I was on it and nothing was working. It was getting so discouraging. And I would do exercise, but half-heartedly. I really wasn't working up a sweat back then. But I was thinking, you can exercise a bad diet, which definitely isn't true. But what I noticed as I was losing weight was my energy increased. And I began doing wellness challenges and stepping challenges at work. I was gradually sharing more and more information with people about this healthy way of eating. And I was really getting more and more comfortable with, with videos and sharing my information. I remember doing my first lecture was back in 2014. They wanted to hear about my weight loss. And I think that opened my eyes that a lot of people are interested in my story just because there's so many failures that, so many diets that fail. And I hear people, I've been there and I know what it's like. So the more questions people asked, the more I had to talk and the more comfortable I got. I fully embraced this lifestyle, fully became vegan in 2016 because of my friend, Robert Cheek. September 6, 2016, that's when I received his workout journal. He had a shredded book and a journal, a companion journal to keep track of your workouts. And my goal was always to tighten my loose skin around my abdomen because, excuse me, because that never tightened. It was 5 years since my weight loss, and I always promised myself if that skin wouldn't tighten, I would do the tummy tuck. But I'm getting ahead of my time. So Robert Cheek, he really opened my eyes because he was somebody who was vegan, and I thought building muscle that would help tighten my abs. it tightened other areas, but not my abs so much, which is why I ended up doing the surgery, which was really scary for me, but I don't know how I did it, but I did it somehow. But anyway, Robert Cheek was a big influence in my life at that time, and he still is today. So when talking about my lifestyle, I noticed I was influencing others. One of my friends completely reversed her asthma, and I never even thought about it because number one, I don't have asthma, and number two, I never really researched if people can get better with plant-based diets with their asthma. So when I heard her story and she did it because I encouraged her to go plant-based, I was amazed. Just think about all the things that plant-based eating can either cure or improve. Another story that I am really quite proud of is my mom, who completely reversed her diabetes and hypertension with a plant-based diet. And this was because of my guidance. Now, she was somebody who was on meds for 40 years. She's in her early 70s now, and she is med free. I can't be any more proud of her than I am today for that. Just that experience and my other friend who reversed her asthma, that made me really want to help other people. It just feels like the right thing to do. The planet needs more vegans. I worry about the planet now, and it's just it's a wake up call. It should be for everybody with what's going on. With the extreme weather we're having the past few years, COVID. Yeah, I don't know if you can fully blame animals on that, but they were definitely a contributor, the slaughter. And I started to think about these things, and I started thinking about these things after I became vegan with Robert Cheek's plan. Watching videos, it really opened my eyes. So I have three friends who are equally as passionate as I was. Dr. Suzanne Fox, who we mentioned earlier, she's a physical therapist. Rob Lee, him and I have been friends for probably 10 years on Facebook, and we finally met up. Sherry Toby, she's the one who took the picture on the cover of my Plant-Based Journey to Health book. All three of them are very passionate about coaching, and we all received our certificates. Rob and I both took the certificate from Dr. Furman, and we both received it. I think it was back in December of last year. And I also got a certificate from T. Colin Campbell, his course. So we started plantbasedcoaches.net. And this has been a great experience so far. We're just launching now. We don't have any clients yet as we just opened it. But I did want to tell your listeners that we are offering a 25% discount with the invitation of Chef AJ. If you use that code at the checkout, and there's no space in between, just Chef AJ, one word, and you'll get the discount. But I really feel for the audience out there that's struggling with weight loss. Believe me, I know how it is, and you just feel like giving up some days. But once I embraced this plant-based eating, honestly, I never wanted to go back. And I firmly believe, Dr. Greger says this and many other plant-based doctors, I don't believe in the slogan that everything in moderation. I believe Chef AJ feels the same way. I feel like if I ever went back, to my old way of eating, something would click and I would just fall backwards, and I don't want that to happen. And I also credit being an ethical vegan as another reason why, why I would never believe in moderation, because some of you might say, "Oh, that's just a low dairy," but I think about the poor cows, and I wouldn't want to deal with the guilt of eating something like that now that I'm fully vegan. So that kept me in mind too. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the bundle, which I did speak about at the beginning. But part of this presentation, I just wanted to give a shout out to a few of the things I saw browsing through it. And there's a
Please
lot of
do.
information in there. Like I love Dylan and Reeves recipes, and I can't wait to try some of them, like the San Francisco oats I mentioned earlier.
Mm.
Vegan Visibility, they're going to help my friends and I as we also plan to start a plant-based coaches podcast. That's going to be an awesome read. Chef Julia Dunaway's plant-based
Oh,
Japanese two book.
that book's amazing. She's going to be on
I
right after you. Yep.
I can't wait to watch that. I especially like the nori fresh spring rolls, and I can't wait to try those. The raspberry jam chocolate chip cookies, that really sounds amazing. That's Vicky Brett Gatch. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Or Gotch.
Vicky Gack Brett or Brett
Okay.
Gack. Yeah, Gack. I think it's Gack.
Okay.
I don't know. She's going to be on tomorrow. We'll ask
Yeah,
her.
ask her to say it. But anyway, I can't wait to try it. Just amazing people. And I also want to give a shout out to my friend Tim Kaufman and his wife Heather. I can't wait to check out the interviews he's providing. Tim and I were both part of the Missing Chins Run Club. And the Run Club, if, for those who aren't familiar, that really helped me uh, in my journey. I credit the experience. I ended up doing a I apologize, I'm closing the presentation so I could look at you. Yeah, I did my first half marathon, I think it was 4 years ago. And I did another half marathon a couple years ago. And I never was into running ever growing up. As a teen, I never liked exercise. And this run club is a group of men who all had similar stories. They all were plant-based. They all wanted to lose weight. And, with the same goal, same like mind. It was an amazing experience. So they all helped me get through my half marathons. I did have a knee injury, unfortunately. That I have chronic swelling. It's gone away since I did a PRP, which I credit Dr. Esser. He's a guest on Chef Adri's show. He gave me some guidance. I seeked a doctor, and that helped amazingly. So I'm fully exercising again. Hope to do another race soon. And yeah, that's my journey. And I really, really want to help other people because I know how tough it is at first.
Well, tell us about your program. How do you help them? Is it group coaching?
Yeah.
What do they get for it?
Yeah, we'll all be doing Zoom calls, and there's going to be we're going to offer menus. We're going to ask their input for a menu first. We're going to help them modify it so that um, we want them to feel like they're part of it, but we want them to have a learning experience as well. We'll be coaching about how much exercise we suggest, down to how much water we recommend. There's so many aspects to think about, but what we're really doing is coaching people. We're not telling people what to do. We're just advising what we think's work for us and for other people we worked with along the way. So there will be Zoom calls, emails. You'll be meeting personally with a personal coach too during that time. And it's a 4 month program.
That sounds good. Is it ongoing or do they join at a certain time?
Yeah, it starts March 15th, our first round, and it will run until July 15th. After that, we're brainstorming maybe a 6 month program, but we wanted to launch a shorter version the first time around.
Nice.
And I know my colleagues are all looking forward to it too. My friend Rob, he has been talking about coaching for years, and I kind of encouraged him to do Dr. Furman's program because he's been a big follower of his as well.
Is that the program you did, or did you take like
Yeah.
a coaching certification
Well,
as
I took a couple, but Dr. Furman's coaching, it was really an awesome experience because we both believe fully in his G bombs foods, and that's what we plan to focus our coaching on. Because honestly, I mean, if there has been a day I skipped of the G bomb since watching Dr. Oz in 2012, I can't think of a day. I mean, maybe I have because we're all only human, but I mean, I've honestly think I've eaten G bombs every day since.
Wow. I'm taking a 6-month coaching program with Food Revolution Network,
Oh,
and I'm
nice. I was thinking of doing that one as
yeah.
well. I like
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you should do it. I find the coaching module incredibly difficult because apparently you're not supposed to give advice. You're just supposed to listen.
Yeah, I know. That's what kills me too, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah. It's hard. It's
It
hard.
is. It is. But you'll get there. I think you'd be an amazing coach as well.
Ugh, I just don't have the whatever for it. But thank you. I took it mainly to learn the business stuff, but it's very interesting, that's for sure, how they
It
teach.
is. It
People
is.
always want to know, even though you've been on the show, what does Richard Hubbard eat every day to maintain his over 150-pound weight loss?
Actually, I love that question because I modified it since I last talked with you
Oh,
somewhat
good. We have a
because
different answer then.
yeah, the reason I modified my breakfast, I love oats still, but I love oat groats now.
Yep.
I
I
never tried them until like 3 months ago. I saw them in a local store that specialized in vegan and plant-based items. And I thought, I'm gonna give this a try. I love them. They're so much better than steel cut oats, which I thought was the healthiest oat, but
Nope, this is the even healthier. This is the real whole
exactly.
deal. Yeah. They're so toothsome. And if you do you cook them in a pressure cooker? Because then they only take about 5 minutes.
No, I should, but I just kind of put it on in the morning, get ready, and just kind of boil them.
Nice.
It gives me time to get ready, and then they're done when I'm done getting ready. So
Do you ever just batch cook it so you don't have to do it every day?
no, I should. But
Well, why
it,
don't you?
well, it's a routine, really. It allows me to get the fresh fruit ready too, because I have to have berries on top. I do the typical flax, chia seeds, walnuts, and for lunch every day I have my big, huge G-bomb salad. That I get ready ahead of time. Yeah, I make enough salad for a few days. I always add the beans in it too. My favorite is black beans. Something recent I started to add to it was another favorite guest of mine, Dr. Pi. Chef knows.
You love him. You have a question for him every month. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was talking about wasabi and horseradish. I couldn't find fresh wasabi yet, but I did find horseradish, and I started to incorporate that. Um, I found it in organic mustard, and I started to use that in my salad. I also another shout out. I gave up all these shout outs because I use them every day. California balsamic. You know what my favorite dressing is from them? Well, vinegar, I should say, is their pomegranate. I don't know if you've ever tried that.
I have you. So that's your favorite.
That's my
Interesting.
favorite. I also love the cilantro one. There's so many amazing ones, and I love
Oh,
that
he's
they're.
in the bundle, Richard. He has a cookbook and a coupon.
Oh, I didn't see that one yet. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love if you speak to him. Well, next time you speak to him, tell him that I love that he does these samples because it's a good way for me to know what to buy next time.
Exactly. I agree. Do
Yeah.
you have a clean environment?
Yes, I do.
So no junk food in the house.
No, but you know what's interesting? I don't think I'd be tempted because as much as it's a clean environment in my home, when I'm at work, it's not. I'm never tempted.
Oh, wow.
There are people who offer donuts, for example. They'll walk by my desk and they'll jokingly say, "Well, I know you're not going to be interested." They all know me. I'm just not going to be tempted.
Has anyone at work noticed your success and asked for help?
Yeah. Well, indirectly. There was one woman recently, over the past 3 months. I met with her and I know she lost some weight, but I didn't want to say anything. And she told me at the end of the meeting that I inspired her to go plant-based, which I was so appreciative of. And she lost, I think she said like 50 pounds. And she did it because, she heard my story over the years and she was feeling, aches and pains and different problems. And she felt so much better eating this way. And it was just awesome, really, to know that, I might have influenced somebody like that. So yeah, there are people who are listening. I know that there are people who would never do it, at least they say, but I'm hoping that, the more I talk about it, the more they'll embrace it.
Well, even though you haven't had any slips and slides, what advice would you give as Richard or as Richard the coach to somebody that did? Because a lot of people give up. I don't know if you watched last week's Truth About Weight Loss Summit. Actually, the replay weekend was this weekend, and the struggle is real for a lot of people.
It is. I did see some of those. My biggest advice is for those who have that problem is to definitely not keep it in your house. Or if you do, hide it. Because if you see it, I know food addiction is real. Um, I mean, I was addicted until I finally embraced this in 2012. I would eat a whole bag of candy. It was uncontrollable work before I embraced this lifestyle. And all I'd have to do is see it. So I may not have that mindset now, but I know how it is. And if you have it in the house and you're still addicted, you've got to hide it or not buy it at all. And I also recommend not walking down those aisles that are going to be tempting. For me, all I have to worry about is going to the produce aisle or maybe walking by the dairy, which I'm not going to be tempted by to get some plant-based milks. Because if you're addicted and you see chocolate chip cookies or Oreos and you're hungry, you're liable to pick it up. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I agree. Well, you would think that more people would, see your success. I mean, at least the people, you work with and would want to do
Well,
some.
I mean, people are impressed. Like my dad, unfortunately, he gets health problems. He had something called giant cell arteritis last year, which is inflammation of the arteries. And I always told him, plant-based eating, I bet you that'll help. If it doesn't cure it, it couldn't hurt. But he's one who is set in his ways. He would never change, and that just saddens me. But you have to move on. But there are always people that you're never going to reach, unfortunately.
Yeah, just got to help the ones you can.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Nice. Let's
Keep a
see.
positive attitude.
Oh, sorry. Look, see if there's any questions. Please post them in the chat, whether you're watching on Instagram or YouTube. It always helps if you put some question marks first to differentiate a question from a comment. Yeah. Yeah, there's a comment, Linda saying, yes, I need to stay out of the junk food aisle. I do that, even
Yeah,
though I don't think I would. I mean, I don't want to ever get too smug and say, oh, I'd never eat something or have a relapse. But even like when I go to Costco, which I do because
sure,
they have amazing produce and clothes, I've got
sure,
the shop there, as a matter of fact, I don't ever walk by the bakery because the smell, and I used to love Costco bakery. So I just take a different path, down the different aisles so that I don't have to walk by all the cakes, cookies, pies.
right. I will say though that as much as I avoid you know um, food with that isn't vegan, there are times like if my boss made something that's vegan but not fully plant-based, if there's minimal oil or something, or sometimes there's sugar in it, I
Hmm.
will eat that just because it's a rare occasion.
Yeah.
And I don't want to refuse just because they were so nice, to go out of their way to make something vegan. So in those cases, I'm not going to refuse. But if there's something with animal products, that's another story. So
Oh, that's different. Great.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I'm so happy for your success. You you have a book that you wrote. Do you want to
Yes,
talk about it?
sure. A plant-based journey to health. I actually tried to buy the domain plant-based journey, but that's another story. That one wasn't available. I tried to offer a couple hundred, but uh, you know, unfortunately, that one wasn't available. But I did write that book a couple years ago during the pandemic. The reason is because I've heard so many people ask my story, and I just wanted to give back because there's only so much time when I'm at the gym, for example, and somebody's asking, "Oh, how'd you lose the weight?" I'd rather say, "Oh, check out my book," which I've done a couple times. My story's in there. And I think if people read it, they're more liable to remember the information. Maybe they'll reread it and see what worked for me.
Yeah.
So
You got a
It's
lot of
my
friends
turn.
watching. Tim Kaufman. Hey, Tim is in the house. He
Hey,
says
Tim.
Richard is a rock star. And I'm posting a link if you want to get the bundle from Richard and support him so he gets the credit. The link is in the chat in the show notes. And Jody, who's watching live, and Jody, are you coming to the meetup tonight? Said, wouldn't it be great if we had a potluck where everybody brought a recipe from the bundle? There's over 2,000 recipes.
Oh, that would be amazing with all the recipes in there. Yeah.
That would be so cool. So cool. Well, Richard, always great to connect with you again. Thank you so much
Definitely.
for being in the bundle. I'm glad you're having a good bundle experience.
I
And
am.
congratulations on your new coaching program. If you're interested, the link is in the show notes right below the video, and you can get coached by Richard and his team and work with somebody who's had tremendous success of losing and keeping off over 150 pounds for over 10 years. That's super spectacular. So thanks so much, Richard.
Well,
And
no problem. Check out that bundle. It really is amazing. I
thank
was
you for
really
saying so.
impressed.
We
Yeah.
worked hard all year. And thanks
Yeah.
all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back in 15 minutes for Chef Julia Dunaway. She is going to be making Japanese onigiri and sushi burrito demo. And Richard even mentioned her book. It's her part 2 of her Japanese book. It's spectacular. See you soon, everyone.
Yeah, I'm
Bye-bye.
going to watch that myself.
Yep. Oh, good. I'll see you in the chat.